I got your bitch. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. They are to be ashamed. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Goddamn right, bitch. Look at here. There you go. They're out here sharing marijuana. Look at here. There you go. The same old nasty ass people from last week. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Goddamn right, bitch. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Dope. Goddamn right, bitch. Goddamn right, bitch. Goddamn right, bitch. Goddamn right, bitch. Corner doing dope. 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 Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Goddamn right, bitch. Look at here. There you go. They're out here sharing marijuana. Look at here. There you go. The same old nasty ass people from last week. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Goddamn right, bitch. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Sitting on the goddamn corner doing dope. Corner doing dope. Dope.
Hey, what's up, Chris? Yeah, no, dude, I got all the beers, man. Yeah. Listen, Oliver had a question for you, though. He just bailed out. He wants to know if you're going to make a beer specifically with his face on it. Is that something like Beer Chronicles can make happen? Is it, hello, Chris? Are you there? They said no, buddy. Sorry about that. Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to Barry on Deck. I tried to get you an Oliver shot. He bailed out. He sat here through the whole sitting on the corner doing dope song, and as soon as I started hollering and yelling, he ran off. You want me to go get him? I'll go get him if you want me to go get him. I tried to give you guys Oliver on Fridays. Low peak. He bailed. He wants his own beer, so maybe somebody in town can make that happen. He's fiending for his own beer. Huge show today. It's Friday, bitches. Welcome, you damn dirty deckheads. I'm Barry Laminack, Barry on Deck. Thank you for being here. All the pleasantries out of the way. We have a lot to get to. As you guys know, every Friday, jam-packed. So much to do because we add some extra stuff to the mix, right? So lots of stuff. Not only do we have sports, we have lawn talk, we got show updates. I've got some entertainment news for you as well. A film session that's funny and should not get us kicked off. Plus, joining me in hour number 2 of the show, my friend and one of the most complex human beings that I know of, Reverend Bart Stewart. He's a stand-up comedian. He's an MMA ring announcer. He's a strength coach. He's a doomsday prepper. He's a gun rights advocate. He's a lunatic and a crazy person. That was the best thumbnail that I could come up with for Reverend Bart Stewart. That summarizes him so well. Mike the Truth Jackson took that photo while Bart was in the ring announcing one of the MMA shows here in town. So, yeah, Reverend Bart is a crazy person. I have no idea how this is going to go today, but I just know he's one of the most interesting people that I know, and I wanted him on this show. So he said yes. He's been out building windmills, like those big wind generators. That's what he's doing. He was telling me about it. It's fascinating. I'm sure we'll talk about that. I'm sure we'll talk about gun rights. I'm sure we'll talk about doomsday prepping. We may talk some MMA, some strength training. All kinds of everything is on the table with Reverend Bart, and he's very opinionated. And if you don't agree with him, he might murder you. So that's Reverend Bart. We'll get to that as well. It's going to be fun. I promise you that. Let's do the chat real quick. I got to say what's up to everybody in the chat. If I'm not mistaken, if I saw correctly, Fidel Limon was first in today. Or was it fake Tony Stark? I maybe it was fake Tony Stark. Maybe I got it wrong. Correct me, chat. Make me get it right. But I do see fake Tony Stark is here. I do see Fidel Limon is here. PayPal Pete is in the building. Richard Vales is here. Steven Uzik is in the building. Terrence J, what's up? He said, I made it. First 10 list. There you go, buddy. Demetrius Mata is here. Hell yeah, he was 11th. Alex Villanueva's in the building. Aaron Little is here. Clarence Marshall. Who else? There's Step. Got all those guys. Francisco Obarca. What's up, buddy, you traitor? Truck driver Pookie's in the building. Who else? Keith Sager. I know Keith is going to show up on Friday. By the way, Keith, thank you for the Venmo, buddy. I saw that right before I went on air. Keith Sager, always on Fridays, sends me a Venmo for Lawn Talk Day. And I love that so much, and I appreciate you. Listen, man, when you guys Venmo or Super Chat, it means the world to me, and it really keeps this show going. It's a great way to give back. So thank you for all the Super Chats and Venmos that you guys give me every single day. It's so appreciated. Even if we don't get listen, anything and everything helps and matters. So thank you, Keith Sager. I'm glad you like Lawn Talk. Today we're going to talk trees. So I hope that's good for you. I see Cowboy Fam is here. Yuri Villanueva. There's Crystal Collins. What up, girl? Miss Photoshop herself. Justin Swinford is here. Justin Kelmis. The Justins are here. Jen. Hi, Jen. Donna's here. Happy Friday to you, Donna. Robert likes beer. Robert, today's your day, bro. If you like beer, Robert, today is your day. Look what the guys at Beer Chronicle did for me. They hooked me up with all these beers. We're gonna drink a few. I've got information about them. That's gonna be fun. So if you're a beer nerd, I got something for you. I've got special beers from Black is Beautiful. I've got sports related beers, Mr. Oktoberfest. So this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Plus, I've got a new glass from beerchronicle.com that we're going to discuss as well. They raised $4,000 for George Floyd's family just off of the sale of this glass. So we'll talk about that. Alan Denson is here. Josh, a.k.a. 713 Hooligan. Frank Ruiz. Chris Reyes. Everybody's in. Everybody's here. Cowboy Trav. Brandon Martinez. Eric Resendez. Chris Davis. Oh, my goodness. TJ McLaughlin is here. The gang's all here. I'm sorry. I got to get to the show. We got to get into it. So if I missed you, I apologize. I'll do better. All right, let's get to some show updates before we get into the beer talk. Because you know it's Friday and we drink, right? And I can't wait to drink. What's going on here? What am I missing with Justin Kelman? The Justins. Yeah, who's going to be the number one Justin? Yeah, you got to figure that out. Because Chris Householder, he took over the number one Chris, even though Chris Reyes was like, nah, player, it don't work like that. All right, bunch of stuff to get to on the show. Let's do the show updates first and foremost. And we always do shout outs to the new Patreon members. And I got to say shout out to truck driver Pookie, who's also in the chat. He's on the show. But he is the latest to sign up for Patreon. Much appreciated, Mr. Pookie. Mr. Truck, Mr. Driver? Mr. Pookie, I don't know. Deanna Taylor, what's up? And also, I got to say shout out to BZH420, who shows up. He comes all the time. Well, that sounded dirty. He comes to the show. He lists, okay, whatever. He upgraded on Patreon, y'all. He went from a big deckhead to a huge deckhead, and I appreciate that. Now, I will say we do have bad news in our quest for a third hour on Fridays. We took a slight step back on Patreon. We were at 122. We're now at 118. This usually happens around first of the month. Some credit cards don't get run. They get declined. Shit happens. All right. So we took a slight step back, but we're not worried about it. We're moving forward. We added somebody this week. That's all that matters. So if you're not a member of Patreon, let me tell you how you can sign up. It's real easy. All you have to do is just go to patreon.com/Barry on Deck. You can sign up. And when you sign up, it's really easy. You can pledge to donate $2, $5, or $10 a month to this show. And that's gonna basically help me keep the show running. You're gonna get some cool swag for it. And the big thing is, let's be real. You want to sign up because you want to be on the Discord. I promise you that. Ask anybody in chat. The Discord is litty. It is the place to be. If you support this show, if you enjoy this show, you're really going to enjoy hanging out with everybody before the show, after the show, on the weekends, at night. It's a lot of fun. We're putting together you know how Virginia Buttonweed did the food bank donations and everybody hopped on. Well, now Chris Davis, Rachel Ramirez, and a few others, I forget who else, but they're putting together a volunteer day for all the deckheads to go down to the food bank, which is August 15th. The way you sign up, Discord. So if you're not a member of the Patreon, please go sign up right now. It not only helps the show and helps me, but you get a bunch of cool stuff and you get to hang out with the deckheads. Look, Truck Driver Pookie, joining the Discord, best thing that happened in 2020. I'm telling you guys, the Discord is, dare I say it's the best part of this show? And that's daddy's ego talking. I mean, like, if you're really, like, that's the best part of the show. I'm not going to lie. The Discord is awesome. What's up, Wallace Wills? Better late than never, homie. Underrated mess, I see you. Okay, so go join the Discord, or go join the Patreon, get on the Discord, and you can also submit your Yard of the Month, your Lawn Talk questions. Speaking of Yard of the Month, the July Yard of the Month voting is done, and the winner of the $50 gift card to their choice of either Crab Kings, Dan's Seafood and Wings, or the Boiled Dragon is yard number 1, which was Demetrius Mata. Demetrius, congratulations, buddy. It was a landslide, really. Look at the voting. He got almost half of the 141 votes, but second was close. Listen, at one point, Santos Martinez made a run at the number 1 spot. I'm not gonna lie. So yard number 2, got to give credit where credit is due. This was John Parker's yard. John Parker, nice. I like it, dude. You were a finalist for a reason. Looks good. And then Santos Martinez, who finished second, took a run at first, but that was your runner-up Yard of the Month right there, Santos Martinez. Good shit, man. Everybody came strong with it. I'm not gonna lie, but Demetrius, that's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Brandon Martinez wants a recount, bro. If it was close, Brandon, but that's not. Come on, bro. That's not close. That's not close. But I agree, Matt Pache. All of them nice. All nice yards. You can't go wrong. That's Yard of the Month. And you still have August. So if you lost Santos, send me another picture. Send me the same picture. I don't give a shit. Just resubmit. That's the thing. Jen's already in for August. So y'all better bring your A game. And in August, it's going to be hot as shit. So my advice is, while we just got through all this rain, you better go take your picture now. Your yards are going to be looking awful. But Demetrius Mata, I will get with you, my friend, and we'll figure out which restaurant you want your gift card from, and then they will be in touch and give you your $50 gift card. So congratulations on that. No, product placement did not win him Yard of the Month, Eric Elman. It absolutely did not. What? Chris Davis, what? Barry, what? What did I miss? What did I miss? I don't know what I missed. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on here. This is off. I don't know. That got weird. Hey, congratulations, Justin Swinford. He said he just got approved for the new house today. Y'all just wait. Dude, that is so badass, man. Congrats on getting a new casa. That's outstanding. No, PayPal Pete. Let's not start doing that. You're like white magic. He tried to send in somebody else's yard from another neighborhood. That's not going to work, buddy. Don't do that. So much more to get to. So there's your Patreon. There's your Yard of the Month. Look, we got a ton of stuff. Let's get rolling. Let's get to some of these sports headlines. Okay. Oops. That's not it. There's you go. Oh, no. Pause. We'll come back to sports. I need to do some of these beers. I want to drink. Like, it's Friday. Reverend Bart is a crazy person. So, I definitely need to get my drink on. So I'm going to ask you guys which one to go with. Now, I have this time around Chris Adams from beerchronicle.com, and he gave me the info about all of these beers. So they sent me 6 beers. I'm going to show you these beers, and you guys are going to pick the first one I drink, and I'll try it, and I'll tell you what I think honestly. And I told these guys, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If I think the beer is gross, we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to tell you that the beer is gross. All right? So let's get into this. First of all, I want to talk about the glass a little bit. The Beer Chronicle, can you guys see that? BeerChronicle.com came out with a new glass that they sold, and 100% of the proceeds went to George Floyd's family. $4,000 after shipping and cost to get them printed and everything else. They were able to donate $4,000 to George Floyd's memorial to his family directly. And look, I don't understand this. What is the chat doing? Go with Great Talk Russ. What am I missing here? I don't understand this. I don't, what am I doing? You guys are weird. I'm going to ignore the chat. Until there's something that I understand, I'm going to ignore the chat right now. But on the back of the glass, so the front of the glass is George Floyd's. They had an artist do this. On the back, it says, say their names, and it has a list of several names that have fallen victim to police violence in this country, including George Floyd's, including Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice. So they sold enough to actually raise $4,000. So I'm going to be drinking today out of this glass. And the beers that they gave me are the following. There's the Texas Leaguer Check Swing beer. The Check Swing it's a beer tasting beer. It's called a traditional Pilsner, no frills. That's probably going to be what I want. The next one on the list, let's do the other one from Texas Leaguer. It's Mr. Oktoberfest. This is called it's a Marzen traditional style German beer. It's a beer meant for October. It's seasonal, best to drink when fall has begun and the weather is brisk. Well, it's August, so we're going to deal with that. Then there is the Southern Star made in Conroe. The Hecho and Conroe. Hecho, is that right? Is that right? It's a Mexican style lager that resembles Dos Equis. Oh, lime optional. All right, cool. I dig that. This one is Good Talk Russ. Oh, that's what. Okay. I'm like, what the fuck does Good Talk Russ mean in the chat? That's look, I don't pay attention, all right? Good Talk Russ by Brash Brewing Seasonal. It's a sessionable, which means easy drinking. See, we're learning. When a beer dork tells you, oh, that's sessional, it just means you can drink it. It tastes like an IPA, but isn't overly hoppy. And it's low ABV. That might be what I need to start with. And then there's the No Label. What is this? No Label Brewings. It's just it says Fiesta. What is this? What the hell is this? Oh, Fiesta Forever from No Label. Compares closely to a Negro Modelo. Easy drinking, self-explanatory. And then lastly, they sent me this Black is Beautiful. It's the beer. It's Eighth Wonder's version of the beer. It's an American strong ale. Should taste a malty chivalry backbone in this. Basically what happened is one guy created the formula for this Black is Beautiful beer to raise awareness. And then he let others use the formula and create their own spin on it. So Eighth Wonder did their version of a Black is Beautiful beer. So here it is as well. So I'm going to take votes. And I think everybody, pay attention to the show, Barry. Donna, the show is here. The show can't be the chat the whole time. There would be no show. It would just be me talking to the chat. All right? I know. I got to pay attention to the show. So I think everybody wants me to go with the Good Talk Russ. So that's what I'm going to go with. I just noticed that Good Talk Russ, that's National Lampoon's Vacation. That's fucking, I'm an idiot. Okay. All right, so we're going to go with the Good Talk Russ first. All this swirling and shit, I don't know if you're supposed to do that. Not going to happen. I'm just going to pour it, and then I'm going to drink it. And that's pretty much all I'm doing with this beer. And I'm going to tell you what I think of it. Okay? Cheers to you guys. Happy Friday. Let's get this show rolling. I mean, it's not my thing. I'm going to drink it. No, I'm not chugging it, Clarence. I'm a professional. You know what's funny? Clarence is yelling, chug it. And, so this is the IPA, but it isn't overly hoppy and it's low in ABV. Okay. It does taste like an IPA. Not a fan of IPAs. Clarence is yelling, chug it, chug it, chug it. And I was actually going back over old episodes and I thought, we're at episode 64. Let me go. I wanted to watch how far the show has come technically, visually, how far I've come as a host. Not far, but I wanted to go back and look at the old show, right? And, the first show ever. And on it, you guys were asking, you could hear a can pop, and y'all were like, "Oh, I hope that's beer." That was episode 1 of Barry on Deck. And on that episode, I literally say within the first 5 minutes, in the first 5 minutes of the show, no, I'm not going to drink on the show because I'm a professional and I want to keep it professional and take it serious. It's not that I'm not taking it serious. It's just you guys have turned me into an alcoholic, okay? You guys have turned me into an alcoholic. Hey, real quick, we got a super chat from Chris Reyes. Happy anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. VB. Oh, shit. Congratulations. What year is it? What anniversary is it for you guys? Either way, happy anniversary. I hope you guys have a good time, and I hope you get anniversary sex, Virginia Buttonweed. I know you're old and it might hurt your back, but I do hope that you get some anniversary sex. That would be good for you. You know, maybe a little handy on the way to the Olive Garden. Is that too much to ask for a married guy? Can I get a handy on the way to the Olive Garden? 16. Wow. Good job, buddy. 16th anniversary. It's not bad. That's really good. All right, here we go. Not the beer, the anniversary. All right, here we go. Let's get into these sports headlines, guys. Enough bullshitting. Enough fucking around. Let's do it. They're going to the IHOP, by the way. I just want to point that out. Going to the IHOP. Nice. Hey, Daddy Dre 014. Appreciate you, homie. He said, love the show, bro. Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're here checking it out and hanging out. PayPal Pete with a super chat. Dude, thank you. We are influencers. No, you're not influencers.
Yeah.
You're peer pressurers. I don't think that was a word. All right, your sports headlines of the day. Astros lose 5-4. They're shitting the bed all over the place. It's disgusting. It's ugly. I didn't even watch it. That's how disgusted I am right now with how bad this team is playing. The writing's on the wall. This season is a loss. This season is over. They're done for. They're not even making the just kidding. Everybody's making the playoffs. But guys, don't get your hopes up. That's my message this year for Astros fans. Yeah, George Springer get hurt last night in the game. Now, he's probably going to miss a little bit of time. We don't know how much yet, or at least I haven't seen how much yet. But, Osuna's probably done. Verlander's probably done. Jordan has been hurt. Urquidy has been out. It's a mess. The one guy you had in the bullpen that you thought you could count on, the one guy, Ryan Presley, shits the bed last night. I mean, Altuve hit a little bit. Okay, cool. I just don't know. This pitching staff is an absolute mess. Belak, you got 5 strong from him, so do that. 12 more times, rookie. 10 more times, however many times he got left. I'm with you, underrated mess. I am with you. It's 2020. Just scrap it. If the Astros shouldn't even care. They should just literally bench. They should go to everybody and say, look, we're going to pay you. Just opt out. Just say you don't want to play because of COVID. Let's just scrap all this. Let these young guys play. Be done. Just be done. It is hard to accept, Rach, but the problem is this is not a good baseball team right now because of the pitching. Because of the young pitching. And Jerome Solomon got on me. Barry, you don't know. You're right. I don't know. But I do know how rookies usually get treated in baseball. They just lost 2 games in late innings with a rookie bullpen to a bad baseball team. The Arizona Diamondbacks are not a good baseball team. I'm not suggesting that the Astros can't make a little noise, but they have got to get healthy. They have got to get some depth in that bullpen. And they got to get another arm in that rotation. Lance McCullers shit the bed. We're going to see what Zach Greinke does in his next start. He got an extra day of rest. I'm worried, y'all. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be overly dramatic or a Mr. Alarmist, but I'm worried. As a fan, as an analyst, as a broadcaster, I'm worried. All right? That's all I'm going to say. Miami Dolphins placed 6 players on the reserve COVID-19 list. Speaking of that, there are 67 players in the NFL that have opted out for the season. The deadline has come and gone. 67 players. It's about like 1% of the NFL, so not too bad. Some teams had some stars. But I tell you what, the Dolphins, some of the names that 2 of their starting wide receivers opted out. So Tua's going to have a tough go of it for sure. And then, of course, More baseball COVID issues. Cubs cards postponed for the latest positive test that occurred there. Not looking good. Not looking good. But what is looking good is your Houston Rockets. What? Okay, this beer is starting to grow on me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. It actually is tasting. It's not an overly powerful IPA. It's really not. So I just got to say, who made this? Brash Brewing. I got to say shout out to Brash Brewing for making an IPA that I can drink. No lie. Because if I didn't like it, I would just straight up say, this is shit. Didn't like it. All right, back to your Rockets. Looking good. Okay? Looking good. 113-97. Big win over the Lakers. Here's what pissed me off. I saw a headline that was like, Rockets beat short-handed Lakers. And then the article was about how, Lakers didn't have LeBron James. They were short-handed. Bitch, the Rockets didn't have Russell Westbrook. They were short-handed. Okay? I don't want to hear that shit. They didn't have EG. Okay? Save all that drama bullshit. Am I saying Russ is as good as LeBron James? No, but he's a superstar. He's a top 10 player maybe in the league. Maybe top 7? Maybe? I don't know. Either way, it is a wash in that regard. They beat a good basketball team regardless, and they did it again with some defense down the stretch. You got to be proud of this team no matter what. You got to be proud of the effort. You got to be proud of the hustle. Chris Davis is on crack because he said AD is overrated. You are smoking something, homie. I don't know what it is. When we play Warzone, it's probably pole. But you are on crack. AD is not overrated. He just, listen, I said, if he knocks down those perimeter shots like he did the first couple of games, they're going to be nasty. But the Lakers do have some problems. And last night's problem was the Rockets aren't afraid of big teams, with Dwight and AD and all that. That doesn't bother them anymore. This team knows what they are. They know what they have to do. And what's encouraging to me, everything I keep seeing, all the Rockets talk about is defense. That's it. And you know what? It's about time. And they're doing it without Jeff Bezdelik. I want to remind everybody of that. That was supposedly the savior, right? Oh my God, what are we going to do without Jeff Bezdelik? Well, they're figuring it out. And part of that is effort. That's what, more than anything, defense is effort. James Harden is making the effort. Everybody's making the effort. They're playing the passing lanes. They're swatting at the ball. They're getting steals. They're getting pass deflections. It's a beautiful thing to see. I hope they can sustain this. I will go back to what my worry was earlier. As many minutes as they're playing, as hard as they're playing, I wonder if they're going to have anything left in the tank as they start to get deeper into the playoffs. Keep an eye on that. That's a concern. My favorite texts or messages is when people tell me to chill. You do understand it's my job to come on here and be opinionated, right? Like you, underrated menace, you do understand I'm supposed to come on here and be passionate or have takes and I'm not trying to be Stephen A. Smith. I'm just giving you these opinions of a fan and an analyst. And I try to separate the two. But no, I realized you think the Lakers just weren't playing. You just think they weren't playing, that they didn't give a shit. They've locked up the number 1 seed and they're not playing. Not true. You don't think that the Lakers didn't want to win that game? They absolutely did. I understand that they don't care game in and game out. They have pride. That's a basketball team. Those are guys that want to win. And that's why they, by the way, I was going to say that's why they rested LeBron. There was an article that came out where it kind of flew under the radar, but LeBron, there might be issues off the court with the Lakers. Keep an eye on that too. I don't know what's going on, but there was an article where they talked about the fact that he had said something where, yeah, it's difficult, in the bubble, plus dealing with some of the things off the court within the organization. Don't know what that means. Don't know if that's player related, team related, coaching related, front office related. If it has to do with the social justice movement that's occurring right now in the NBA. But keep an eye on it. Yeah, Deanna, keep an eye on it. That's going to be interesting what happens going forward with LA and LeBron. It may not be a big deal. It may have just been some frustration. But keep an eye on that as well. So Rockets win 113-97. Here's your box score. That's the 3-game series. If you were interested what the Rockets did against the Lakers this year, They won 2 of the 3 games. Now, one of those games was without LeBron. One of those games was without AD, if I'm not mistaken. So there's really only one game that I think that was everybody was full strength, and that was game 2, if I'm not mistaken. So Rockets moving up. They are 4th right now in the seeding. Probably where they're going to finish, if I had to guess. Rockets finish 4th. And then there was this. I don't know. I forget who sent me this, but this is fucking magical. Y'all know I'm a sucker for a crying Jordan. Oh my Jesus, this is so great. This is so beautiful. This is so wonderful. Did someone put a crying Jordan in LeBron James's hair? Oh my God. That's amazing. That's so good. I mean, what are we saying over here? LeBron to Houston 2021. Settle down, Charles. That's not happening. That's not a thing. Nope. Not a thing at all. Jorge or George said, I'll take him over the other Harden. What, this Harden over the other Harden? Is that what you're saying? Wait, we got Clarence bringing family to the show? What? Who said that? Oh, Terrence is bringing family to the show. I love it. Total Dallas said AD is not overrated. His team is. Ooh, I don't think the Lakers are overrated. I don't think AD is overrated. I don't think either of those are overrated. This is the concern, Frank Ruiz. You live and die by the 3. It's going to affect you in the playoffs. If your legs are tired because you're making all that effort on defense, the shots may not fall. You know, that's just a concern. But it's what they've chosen. It's the way they've chosen to play. So, okay, one more sportsy thing to get to. What time is it? 2:30. Let me do this real quick. I got to take care of my folks, you know, and I got to commend you guys. I said as much on the Discord that I thank you guys for all the support you've been giving. I saw somebody else, Gray Lane went out to Crab Kings. And by the way, I do want to say, make sure you're going to the right locations. There are several Crab Kings that aren't a part of the sponsorship. So just make sure you're going to the right location. And there might be like a Dan's, but it's not the right Dan's. So just be careful when you support, right? But any and all support is appreciated, and you guys are absolutely fucking killing it. And by the way, if you want more info on this George Floyd glass that I have, you can get that at beerchronicle.com. So if you're wanting more info on if the glasses are still available to purchase, I saw somebody ask that in the chat. If you want to see the article, the full write-up about this, if you want to see the full write-up about the Black is Beautiful beer that was created by Eighth Wonder here in Houston, that's on the website. All of the beer information, brewery map. The brewery map is great. Just go to beerchronicle.com. Everything that you could want is right there. You can learn more about the Houston beer culture because beerchronicle.com is the absolute authority on Houston beer. Now, when they gave me this info, one of the things that Beer Chronicle, that Chris Adams said in there is that it's a diverse team of mostly Houston natives. They're culturally diverse and veteran owned. And guys, it's 100% true. This is a team made up of men, women, people of all races, religions. It's outstanding. And I love what they're doing. They are raising the awareness in the Houston scene, not only of the beer culture, but of social issues. And I love to see the two, and they don't do it in a way that's offensive to anybody. They've got the largest online collection of original content. They work with all the major breweries, articles, the brewery map that I mentioned. They've got lists. Go check it out. Do me a favor. Just go to beerchronicle.com. You get all of that and more. They're wonderful people, and they know their shit when it comes to beer. And speaking of good stuff online that you can get, hempvitacbd.com is the place. If you're a CBD person, I can not only get you better products, but I can save you some cash if you just go visit hempvitacbd.com. Use promo code DECKHEAD15. You're going to save 15%, and you're going to absolutely love their products. They're amazing products. They've got stuff for you. They've got stuff for your loved ones. They've got stuff for your pets. Hemp Vita has it all. All their cannabinoids are organically grown in the U.S. All their products, no THC, so you don't have to worry about drug tests. What they do is they provide you with all natural wellness products that are going to make you better. Nora lives and dies by the Hemp Vita CBD gel. For her feet, it's absolutely great. She gets home from work. She's been on her feet all day. I put that gel on her ankles and on her feet. All of the pain goes away. My neck, if I sit here too long working, my neck hurts. I put that gel on there. It's good to go. The gummies help you go night-night. Go check them out right now, hempvitacbd.com. Make sure you put in that promo code DECKHEAD15. You're going to save 15% on your order, and they're going to know you heard about Hemp Vita right here at Barry on Deck. Plus, Daddy might get a little commission too, so that's always a good thing to help keep the show going for sure. Okay, we're going to get back to sports. But I saw there's a good debate going on, and I don't want to stop it. I think sometimes the chat is good because you guys can debate amongst yourselves, and I don't have to get involved. So I like it. Look at this. Santos, my dude. He's like, the gummies are so great. I slept so much better. That's what I love hearing. These products work, man. I love hearing it. I love it. Keep supporting, right? I mean, keep supporting. Especially if you benefit. Like if you get a good meal, you get some gummies that help you sleep, everybody wins. The show keeps a sponsor. The sponsors get their products into your hands, and you're getting a better night's sleep or better food. So all the way around, everybody wins. Eric Elman placed an order for gummies and relaxing lotion for the wife. My man. That's what I'm talking about. Let me know how it goes. I want to hear your guys' experiences. I want to know good or bad. And trust me, ask Walt, ask some other people. When I get bad feedback, I pass that along. I don't come on and blast them, but I let them know, hey, this is what my viewers, this is what the Deckhead Army, this is what the Deckhead family is experiencing with your product. I just want you to be aware of it. So good or bad, I want to know about it. Let me know what your experiences are. Oh, look, Francisco, wife and I are ordering Dan today. I love it. They're up next as soon as we get to it. One more thing, sportsy wise, before we get to lawn talk, because we're already running out of time, and I do want to cover this. I feel like I need to make another video. I don't know if you saw this, but the Oakland A's coach Ryan Christensen made a Nazi gesture while greeting his team after a win. And look, I'm just gonna show you. This is what he did. Look at this shit. Oh, what? Damn it. Where'd it go? Hold on. Try this again. So this is what this dude does. As they're coming off the field, what are you doing? The fuck is that? Like, that's not okay. And it looks like he's laughing about it. Can we be honest? This isn't your film session, by the way. But if I'm just watching this, you can't see his face. You don't see his facial expressions. But that doesn't look like an accident, okay? That does not look like an accident. That looks like he's trying to be funny, maybe. Doesn't look like an accident. And now you can see he's laughing and pointing and, that's what I did. I did that move. That doesn't look okay to me. That doesn't look like an accident, and it doesn't look like something that you can just explain away with a oops. Oh, did I make a Nazi? Oh, what? Oh, that's my bad. No, you're a fucking idiot. That's what your bad is. Do I have to do another video? I just did a video earlier, was it this week, about when is it okay for white guys to use the N-word? And by the way, the Cliff Notes, never. So when is it okay for someone to do the Sieg Heil maneuver, whatever the fuck that is? Never. It's just not okay. It's not. Well, this dumbass does it, and then he comes out with some lame fucking excuses. He said, look, when closer Liam Hendricks you could see him correcting Christensen's gesture so it fit what the rest of the team was doing. Christensen turned around and repeated the gesture again. He was told, no straight arm. You have to bend your elbow, is what he said Hendricks told him. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, no, it's like Heil Hitler. That was the initial statement. And then the PR team got involved and said, nope, you stupid fuck, you can't say that either. So the statement from him reads now, the new statement said, I made a mistake and will not deny it. Today in the dugout, I greeted players with a gesture that was offensive. In the world today of COVID, I adapted our elbow bump, which we do after wins, to create some distance with the players. My gesture unintentionally resulted in a racist and horrible salute that I do not believe in. What I did is unacceptable, and I deeply apologize. Bullshit. You didn't adapt the elbow gesture. There's nothing about this that says you adapted an elbow gesture. You knew exactly what the fuck you were doing. There was no like unintentional, oh, let me get my elbow out. No, he literally stood there and did like that. There's no adaptation to it. You thought you would be funny. You fucked up. You can't do that shit, guys. It's 2020. You gotta fucking think. Use your noodle. It's not okay. Fidel is right though. People will still be like, yeah, but the Astros cheated. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking idiot. That's just awful. So they tried to explain it away, is what it comes down to. And then the A said that the coach greeted players with a gesture that looked like a Nazi salute. No, motherfuckers, it was a Nazi salute. There's no look like. Go fuck yourself, Oakland Athletics. There's no look like. It was. Jesus Christ. No, Deanna, sweetie, trust me. Not yet. Not on one beer. 2 beers, maybe. Not even a whole beer. Like I'm on a half a beer. I'm not drunk yet. I promise I'm not drunk. You'll know, the eyes will get glassy and then I'll just, like Bart's talking, I'll just be going, I don't know what he's saying. Okay, let's get to some lawn talk. I love lawn talk. Where is it at? Here we go. So I got a question on the Discord server, and the question was, that's not the question. There's the question. The question came from our newest Patreon member, by the way. Yeah. See, I wish chat, that's the only thing that bothers me is the chat's always a little bit behind. And it's not you guys' fault. Trust me, and it's not my fault. It's just the YouTube setup. Now, I could lower the latency a little bit, but it also degrades the quality of the video feed, which would make it look worse. It would be all, I know it's not great, but it would be worse if I sped up the chat. So there's no happy medium. But Steven Uzik said, as the token Jew, I can say that was bad. Yeah. You think? This is awful. All right, here's your lawn talk question of the day from truck driver Pookie, who just joined the Patreon movement and also is on Discord. But he said, hey, I know it's early for lawn talk, but when am I supposed to trim trees? I think the one on the left is a crepe myrtle that gave out little purple flowers, and the one on the right, I don't know, but it has white flowers. And he wants to know, when am I supposed to trim these trees? So here's a picture that he sent. He's talking about the crepe myrtle. If you're looking at your screen, it's on the left. And then he talks about the tree on the right. And it's real simple, truck driver Pookie. You're supposed to trim trees after the summer, but before the spring. It's that simple. That's it. I personally trim trees in January. What I do is I have on my calendar a reminder that pops up that says, trim the trees, and that's when you do it. And the reason is, in the winter, in the fall and in the winter, your trees go dormant. And so when they go dormant and you trim them, they are actively protecting themselves. Where in the summer, when they're budding and you cut them, they're more susceptible to insects and disease. So don't do it right now. Wait until October, November, December. Like I said, I always trim all of the trees that I have in January. That's when you know it's safe in Houston. Because October, it may not be fall yet. You could still have some remnants of summer, okay? But they say fall before spring, somewhere in that area. January is a safe time to trim trees in the city of Houston for sure. Some other things. Worst time to do it is right after they've budded in the spring, so do not do it then. Now, some people are like, but what if there's a dead limb or a broken limb or something like that, or damaged branch or whatever? That's fine. Go ahead and take that off, okay? Go ahead and take that off. And then the last question that always comes up when you talk about crepe myrtles is, should you top crepe myrtles, all right? Now, I should have got a picture of what a topped crepe myrtle looks like. And Randy Lemon hates this shit. All right. Oh, here we go. This is a good picture. Randy Lemon calls it crepe murder. But this is what topping a crepe myrtle looks like. If you have a crepe myrtle, don't do this. That's bad. That's not good for your crepe myrtles. All right, don't do that. I know you see it done, and it's done by lawn people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. But don't crop your crepe myrtles like that. All right, I'm trying to find a good location for it. Don't do that. Not good for them. It can stunt their ability to protect themselves. Like, it's just, you don't need to do that. You can shape them. You can control the way that they look. You can trim them when it's appropriate. Do not do that to your crepe myrtles. And if you see people doing that to crepe myrtles, punch them in the... No, don't do it. I'm just kidding. Don't punch anybody over a crepe myrtle. But you need to tell them to stop doing that. This is not good for these trees. This is done by lawn people that don't know what the fuck they're doing, or they don't know better. And they work for these big lawn companies that do that, you know, maybe there's a business that has a bunch of crepe myrtles and they'll do something like that. Don't allow this to happen, especially in your neighborhood. Yeah, total doubt. Oh, they did. They did. Don't do that. That's bad. That's not good for them. What is this? We have a long question. Barry, where can I buy some butterfly weed? Houston Garden Center says they only get every once in a while. I don't even know what butterfly weed is. I have no idea what that is. I'd have to Google that. Butterfly weed. Oh, you're talking flowers, bro. I don't know. I don't know about that shit. I know lawns. I know some trees. I don't know. That's a good question. I would say go to a nursery, not necessarily Houston Garden Center. I would go to a nursery like Plants for All Seasons or Kingwood Nursery. Just depends on where you are. But that's where you're probably going to have better luck. And call around. They'll probably be able to help you with that. I'm not texting Randy Lemon. This isn't, no. I don't need to text Randy on that. That's like Chris Jones asked me about moles. I'm like, I'm not a pest control guy. I don't do pest control. He goes, well, Randy Lemon would know. Well, did you text Randy Lemon and ask him? No, you texted me. I don't do pests, so I don't know what to tell you. So there's your lawn talk for the day. Good question, Matt Poche. When is Randy Lemon going to do the show? So he did my nightly live chats. I need to bring him back. I really do. I need to bring him back for another episode. And I'll do it on a Friday. If he's willing to do it again, I'll try to get him back on a Friday so that we can talk lawns for a very long time. There's an episode on my YouTube of me and Randy Lemon doing an interview for an hour and a half. Go find it. It's right there. It's right. I mean, all you gotta do is go on the channel and search. It's under the videos, the live videos. I promise you that. Alice Little, not happening. Chris Reyes. As much as I would love to have her on, she has shunned me, and I don't know why. I wasn't inappropriate with her. I didn't ask for a freebie. I didn't ask for a discount. I just messaged her after we did our last live chat together before I got let go, and she has not messaged me back. So you guys can just forget about it with Alice Little. Now, I am considering trying to get a sex worker for episode number 69 because I'm a child. All right. Before we get to, well, I got a film session, and I do need to talk about Trump and TikTok, but I cannot forget to get to this before we go any further. I want to tell you guys about Dan's Seafood and Wings. I love the fact that you guys are trying the restaurants and actually enjoying the food. I love that. And if you haven't tried Dan's Seafood and Wings, go to Dan's and check it out. You're going to love it. They've got 2 locations for you. If you're on the southwest side of Houston, you can go to South Gessner, and it's $39.91 South Gessner, and you can check out the food there. See what Francisco's talking about, all right? Or on the northeast side, go to Uvalde. 18 Uvalde Road, right there on the northeast side of Houston. You could try Dan's Seafood and Wings. They're known for having amazing food, but what they're really known for is, well, their most popular item is their boiled spicy shrimp. So if you're like, ooh, I want to try Dan's, I love seafood, I love wings, but I don't know what to get, start with the boiled spicy shrimp. Now, if you want to listen to fellow deckhead, Francisco said the lo mein was really good. So you could try that as well. They've got grilled platters. They've got the New Orleans barbecue shrimp, Asian, Latin, Cajun-inspired seafood, plus wings. They have it all, and the food is absolutely delicious. They've been around the Houston area since 2015. So go support them. Go check it out. It's Dan's Seafood and Wings. Eat at dans.com. You can check it all out. All right, Rachel Ramirez has one more lawn question before we roll on. She said, do you guys, lawn question. Where'd it go? Do you guys stop mowing right at the property line and leave like 18 inches of unmowed, or y'all just know that a little portion of the neighborhood side? I just go to my property line. That's all I mow. I ain't mowing nothing else. That's not my job. I don't do that. If you got enough to do, you got a busy life, Rachel, don't be mowing other people's shit. It's not necessary. Let them do it. That would just be my advice. Now, if it looks bad, if you think it's, attracting wild animals and shit, maybe give it a once over. But yeah, normally, I mow my shit. That's it. I wish y'all could see. Y'all want to see Oscar? Y'all want to see Oliver? I call him Oscar when he acts bad. Look at this shit. Look at this fool. This fool is out here laying in the damn. Look at him. He don't even know. Look, this fool. That's your king. That's your king. That guy right there. That's your show mascot. You saw him just laying there like an idiot. Now he's cleaning himself. That's funny. Clarence, you shut your damn mouth. I'll finish my yard some point this week or next. All right, okay. What time is it? 2:50? Do you guys want the story about TikTok and Donald Trump, or do you want film session? The film session is not great. It's good. It's not great. I'm just going to warn you. It might be somewhat of a letdown. You probably haven't seen it, but it's not. Look, we got pulled down after the show yesterday because of another fight video. Your choice. Oh, we got film. I'm letting it roll in. I know only one beer, Charles. I'm pacing myself. It's pretty unanimous. Everybody's film session. Okay. I guess the people have spoken.
And now it's time for a film session.
There's your answer, Robert. Am I ever going to finish the beer? I just did. Why are you guys so peer pressury about your alcohol consumption? I don't understand that. I am a 46-year-old grown-ass man. Why are you pressuring me to finish a beer before I'm ready to finish it? I am not 15. You're not going to pressure me into drinking for no reason. I mean, you do, but you're not supposed to. All right, what am I drinking next before we get to the film session? Are we going with the October? I want to do one of these two. I want to do one of the baseballs. Are we doing the Czech Swing or are we doing the Mr. Oktoberfest? Which one are we doing? Pick one. Mr. Oktoberfest Czech Swing. But that'll be the beer that I drink over the next hour, Robert. Okay. I hate all of you. TJ, I'm doing the film session. Here's your film session of the day, right here. Here it is. All right, now I don't know what they're saying. None of us do. Well, you might. I don't know. I'm not going to assume you do or don't. I don't know what they're saying. I can tell you what's going on here, okay? What you're seeing is two ladies trying to light a firecracker and throw it in a bin. That's what this is. Now, the one lady's going to start trying to light the firecracker, but she can't do it. She can't work the lighter. So again, I don't know what they're saying, but I feel like the other chick was like, give it to me, you dumb bitch, and I'll light it. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's what was said. I don't know, but that's what took place. So now she's going to light the firecracker. She gets it lit. Awesome. Now, I want to see, did you notice anything here? Let's examine what's taking place with her hands. Did we notice anything? Just keep watching. Okay, so they... Okay, Okay, so they lit the firecracker and then they threw it down and they ran off, right? Yeah. Oh, you stupid bitch! You took the firecracker in the room with you. Yo, this lady. Now notice that the lighter is in the right hand, the firecracker is in the left hand. She threw the lighter down. She threw the lighter down and ran off with the firecracker. Now, again, I don't know what they're saying. But I think that person just said, you stupid motherfucker, you have the firecracker in your hand. I don't know for sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was you dumbass. You have a firecracker in your hand. What the fuck are you doing? I don't know. Bam! How in the fuck are you standing there? Holding a firecracker, going, did it go off yet? It's in your fucking hand. What the fuck are you doing? Like, really? And then watch them when they come out. Watch them when they... It's all smoky and shit. Like, oh my God, what are you doing? Exactly, Clarence. That's what I was going to close with. Team wipe. Down to team wipe. Like, the fuck are you doing? Oh my God. So there's your film session for the day. And that, did you guys ever choose? You know what? Where's the list again? I'm going to choose for you. We've got the Czech Swing and the Mr. Oktoberfest. One is a traditional Pilsner. The other one is a German beer. Well, I'm German, but I love a traditional Pilsner. I'm going to go with the Czech Swing. So that's what we're drinking. We're going to drink the traditional Pilsner for hour number 2 of, oh. Well, that just went everywhere. That's not good. All right. Just. Hey! Hold up. Cheers. I gotta say. This first drink is for Crystal Collins. Thank you for the super chat, sweetie. You are the best. Keeping the show rolling. You're always so generous with your time and your money. And you know, I appreciate it thoroughly. But baby girl is on the plane. She's headed home. Fuck yes. That is the best news of the week. Congratulations, Crystal Collins. I am so happy for you. Cheers to you. Could not have had better news to end the week than that. I am so happy for you, sweetie. I really am. I know you've waited a long time to get your baby girl home, and I'm so pumped for you. Could not be better news. Congratulations. All right. We got to get to a break. I got to get Reverend Bart Stewart on the Skypes. Hopefully this works. We didn't test it. I don't have anything for you for the break. I'm looking around. I'm trying not to violate anything. Just stick around for me. Do me a favor. Stick around. We're at 68 right now. 68 viewers. Please don't make me come back to 40 viewers, 20 viewers, 1 viewer. You're going to love Reverend Bart Stewart. This man is insane, all right? He's absolutely insane. So stick around through the break. We're back in 5 minutes. This is Barry on Deck. I'm your host, Barry Laminack. See you shortly.
Tory Lanez just threw his entire career away. He was about to be a world star. Now he just on World Star. So since we on schedule, let's get disrespectful. You look like an overdeveloped gigapet. You the same size as a landing strip. I would ask you why you would stoop so low, but we know you didn't have a choice. Ain't your name Daystar? Okay, Day. Wasn't it just your birthday? Because it's crazy how you still the same size as your birthday. I'd wash Day on my worst day. He get worked out with 2 of these, he gonna need 2 a days. I ain't saying you weak, Day. But your music is 12 p.m. You midday. Hairline already moved to next Friday. Nigga, you day. And your ass washed. You a bidet. Wait, Daystar, your dad's name is Sunstar. You gave up a dime, Coinstar. And you got teeth like a Monstar? Why your teeth capitalized but you in lowercase? Big ass teeth but you bite size. They signed a petition to get your ass sent back to Canada. But your hairline already been deported. Your hairline is dead. It's ironic how you got arrested. But your hairline need to be charged. No more questions.
I've got a perfect
number 2 is upon us, and I am so excited about my next guest for Barry on Deck. Joining me on the show now. Now, I billed you, Reverend Bart Stewart, as one of the most interesting people that I know that I've ever met in my life. You're a great dude. You are an interesting dude. And I could not wait to do this because I have no idea what's about to happen. With you. Like with everybody else that I've had on this show, I kind of know what's going to happen. I'm not bullshitting you. I don't know. I might get canceled right now.
Yeah,
what's up, Reverend Bart? How are you, buddy?
You cannot rule out a cancellation. And guys, if you look really close, you can actually see my ego inflating just from that. And man, that's a hell of a send-up. I tell you what, if I ever jump back into stand-up, Barry, you were doing all of my freaking intros. All of them.
Bro, you need to jump back. How long has it been since you've been on stage doing stand-up? How long has it been?
Oh, wow. Man, it's been several years at least. I jumped on a couple of mics up in Spokane where I'm living now. Where my home is now. I'm currently living in a little motel room in West Texas, but yeah, man, it's been years. It's been years.
When? Like when I got in, you were getting out, right? Like I started 7 years ago, and I don't think you were doing it then. You had just like the legend of Bart Stewart on stage was still around, which if you may have, I don't know if you could start up, Bart. Let's be real. Let's just right from the rip. Let's just get this out of the way. You probably was, speaking of getting canceled.
Oh yeah. No way. No, they wouldn't even, dude. I'd be banned from every open mic in the city if I jumped into it now. And that's one of the things that I reflect on. It's one of the reasons why I got out of it. I mean, granted, when I'm, I have to own my part in this. You know what I mean? Because when I'm doing a 5-minute set, how prison sex is actually a big public service. It's you can't really expect to get booked. So
no,
I own it.
Yeah, and that's probably one of your more church-friendly bits.
Oh yeah. We had what was the one? Nancy Pelosi waking up out of a painkiller fog with a crotch full of Doberman semen and paw prints on her back. I think that was the one that got me laugh stop initially. But there's that.
Gee, I can't imagine why you didn't get booked more, Bart. But here's what I love, though, Bart. This is what I learned from you. Because I think you can learn from everybody, right? And you and I talked comedy when I first got into it. But one of the things I learned is, from you specifically, was be true to yourself no matter what. If you think it's funny, if you feel the topic, if you feel the joke, say the fucking joke. If they don't like it or they don't get it and you want to work on it, great. But who else is writing a Nancy Pelosi with Doberman semen in her crotch jokes? Wow.
I'm unconventional. I don't know. I really don't know what to say about that. Yeah. Listen, man. The worst form of censorship is self-censorship. Yeah. And unfortunately, in the times that we're living in right now, the pressure for that with this godforsaken cancel culture nonsense, that there's the pressure. People are, and you don't have to outright. This is the difference between political control mechanisms. You don't have to lock down and control the people themselves. You don't have to go all Stalin with it and have death squads in the streets and things like that. All you have to do is control the thought process. If you control the stimulus, you control the response. If you narrow the range, Chomsky even got onto this. If you narrow the range of acceptable debate, then you've pretty much shut it down. No physical violence required. And unfortunately, that fear is keeping a lot of people quiet. It's keeping a lot of ideas that need to be addressed from being addressed. And of course, we can take a look at the social fallout right now, look no further than Portland. I do believe there's a certain amount of optimism that I retain because I believe we've hit a tipping point now. I think we've kind of pushed that about as far as it can go. People have had enough, and the comedians, folks like yourself are. Half of them are going to be at the forefront of that, and the other half have already knuckled under.
The comedians. Look no further than Joey Coco Diaz, right? I mean, you recall that he got roasted for saying, "Yeah, I made this chick, blow me to get stage time." And while I don't necessarily agree with touting that and laughing at him, whatever, he didn't back down from it. He said, "Look, that was the old me. No. I'm a new person, but I'm not going to shy away from that. And you motherfuckers aren't going to cancel me, and I'm not apologizing."
Yeah, fucking ain't right. And that and those kind of principled stands are the ones that need to be taken right now. I mean, if you look at it, Chappelle and Burr pretty much single-handedly saved comedy because everybody else was knuckling under. Yeah. And these guys just stepped up. Chappelle in particular just said, "Look, fuck it, cancel me. Good luck with that." I canceled myself for 10 years and came back, and I'm Dave Chappelle. I'm gonna be Dave Chappelle no matter what the fuck y'all think of it. And that's how I've always tried to live my life. Look, man, I'm gonna be Bart. I'm gonna be Bart. If that short dick's every cannibal on the Congo, I don't give a fuck. It's not my problem. What someone else thinks of me is none of my business, and it's certainly not my problem.
Billy D. Washington described you as this was in a thread. This just happened a few days ago, but I thought this is what triggered me going, I got to get Bart on this fucking show. We talked about it before, but I kept, him and hawing around, and you're a busy man, and I was like, when Billy was like, you guys don't know this, but the Reverend Bart Stewart is legitimately the only man that I've ever met born on this planet that had no fucks with him when he was born. You had zero fucks to give as a baby, and you still do now. And it's seriously one of the things I admire. Because here's the beautiful thing, though, about you, Bart, is you're controversial, you're cantankerous, you have your own ideals, and you're strong-minded. But you and I have literally just gone at each other on occasion. But at the end of the day, you're mature enough to be like, but I still love you. But you're still my dude. You're still my guy. I hate that you think this way. I hate that you have this idea, but I still love you. It's so rare now, Bart. It's so rare.
People are easily divided. Let me qualify that. First of all, kudos on the use of the word cantankerous. That's one of my 3 college words. I like to use that a lot.
Throw out some college words. What's the other 2? I'm gonna add them to the repertoire. I hope repertoire was one of them.
Well, repertoire used to be, but it got displaced by the word synovial and also sesquipedalian. Yeah, sesquipedalian. You got to use that.
I'm tapping, Bart.
Tapping? Yeah. The funny part about sesquipedalian? Sesquipedalian is used to describe using big words where smaller ones would suffice. So, the irony of that is kind of fun.
That's great.
No, man, people get weak people get divided. Weak people get divided easily behind stuff like that. You and I have personal history. That doesn't mean that I may or may not have unfollowed you for a minute or 2 on Twitter. When your mask thing got completely out of hand, it's just like, okay, I got to take a step back.
You were so mad. Right, you were see, but again, that's the beauty of you, Bart. When you're passionate about something as an opposing viewpoint, the vitriol is palpable, okay? And I'm not just throwing out all the big words I have just to impress you. But at the end of the day, I know that if Bart and I get into it, and we have, and like you said, you unfollow, but at the end of the day, there's something in your heart that is just full of love. And all this gruff exterior and the meanness and all of that shit, but at the end of the day, you're like, that's still my dude. No matter what, I hate this motherfucker for thinking this, and this, but I still love him. It's so rare, Bart.
You're revealing my secrets. I'm a big teddy bear wrapped up in barbed wire. I have been described like that. No, I mean, I just got a lot of love for what that's the weird dichotomy of Reverend Bart. That's the weird dichotomy of Reverend Bart is that I look at our potential as a species, right? And the beauty and the intellect and the magnificent accomplishments that have driven our evolution. And we're being held back by fucking what? That's what drives the hatred. The hatred and the vitriol is essentially driven by a desire to see us, rise to what I believe we're capable of as a species. You know what I mean? The same week you have Antifa maggots old ladies in Portland. We're on the edge of a commercial space industry, thanks to the actions of one man. One, you know.
Yeah.
So I find myself conflicted often. You know, part of me wants to, you know, I'd love to put my arms around the world, and the other part is like fire up the murder factories.
You'd like
you
to
know,
stab a few. You want to put your arms around the world, but there's a dagger in one hand, and you just want to stab a few of them in the butthole, and then the rest of them hug, right? I mean, I get it.
There you go. Well, you know, and as we've seen by what's going on right now, fear is a powerful motivator. So I'm thinking if I stove in a couple of skulls with a brick, you know, I definitely have the attention of the rest of the room. So,
Listen,
we can get something done.
By the way, I'm not going to call myself a genius, Bart, but I knew bringing you on this show that because we're live on YouTube, and I knew that the people watching, the deckheads, the loyals, the folks that have been with me since this show started, were going to absolutely love you and just be mesmerized by you because you're such an interesting dude. But literally people like 713 Hooligan, his name is Hooligan. So of course he's like, this is my favorite episode already. He's just, I mean, he is within your wheelhouse, Bart. But people are like, yep, I don't know. I can't pick a favorite episode anymore. This is deep. This is great. That's what I love about you is you're a stand-up comic, but I literally, look, I'm going to show you what I put on for your description today. And I gave you a great intro, right? But this was the things I put. Stand-up comic, MMA ring announcer. I put Primal Iron. I meant to put strength coach.
Yeah.
Doomsday prepper, lunatic, and crazy person. And I knew more than that would hurt a lot of people's feelings, but I know you would be like, yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's what I mean. You're so... I don't know where to start with you, Bart. What do we talk about first? What do you want to talk about first of all the stuff I listed? We can go ring announcing.
I don't know, man, roll the dice. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being pedestrian social commentary and 10 being midget training hooker porn. I don't know, man. Let's clock in at about a
we do need to talk about your fascination with sex toys, because there was a time when you told me stories about having a sex dungeon, and I was like, I don't know if I want to be friends with him anymore.
The party
He's
bag.
Scary.
Yeah, we
should we start there?
Yeah, we should probably talk about. I had a duffel bag that I kept around. I was a DJ in the strip club industry, in and out for like 18, 20 years. And I had a party bag that I carried around. I worked with a lot of, we had porn star features that would come through. And I had the party bag. This was the legit stuff that I owned, stuff that I used in my own life, in my own time. And I would keep that around and throw it in the back of the truck, you know, because at the time I was single and you never know when you're going to get a night out. But the porn stars would come through, and there was always like a gauge with them. And I would start breaking things out, you know, just like one, and, you know, and
start
we would
with a
see
feather.
At what point you start with just something, you know, something small, you know, relatively, you know, sedate little dildo, and then, you know, some clamps, and then we get the J hook, you know, the mouth stretcher, we break that out, and you know, generally they hung with me, but the one that would always, I had two that were the go-to at the end. One was a dildo that I referred to as the Spear of Destiny, which was about, man, I'm going to say probably about as long as my forearm, and it flared up to the top and then came out and then came to a point, right? And it had a suction cup base, so I could be really theatrical breaking this thing out, just you know, and then just wobble, 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 and just kind of watch it wobble. That usually got him.
Oh my God!
And failing the Spear of Destiny, I had a latex fist that was actually given to me by a porn star who was a friend of mine in the '90s, Chloe Nicole. Who was
Who?
Yeah, Chloe Nicole she was like the fisting queen. Chloe Nicole, yeah, she was like the fisting queen at the time. She still is the fisting queen. She's just, you know, kind of out of the limelight now. But
Just
she
an old
had
wrinkled fist.
her own signature line of sex.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was Chloe's Fist of Fury, and she gave me one of the first ones off the assembly line, you know.
Wow. We're 17 minutes in, and I told you guys, we went from how do we make the world better? And we're on fisting. And that's what I love about Bart. Is it? It's so great, dude. So how long did you DJ at a strip club?
I was in and out of that business for well, hell, man, up until like last year. So 18 years in and out of the business.
And
you know, I mean, I did other things. I was, you know, I emceed the fight shows. I was a strength coach, combatives instructor, all these other things. But you know, it was steady money and it was fun. You know, once you got the gift of gab, you know, once you have the voice down. And I'll give you a little secret on strip club DJs. They send us, the reason why they all sound the same is that they send us to a summer camp, right? And we're only allowed to eat broken glass, and we're forced to smoke 2 packs of Marlboro Reds a day and listen to nothing but game show hosts. And that's how they all wind up sounding the same.
That's how they make.
That's right, gentlemen. She's got a great ass. She's got a great ass with a fucked up dental plan and into years of methamphetamine abuse. She'll suck your dick for $100, but buy that bottle of champagne so the club can make its money. Roxy, round number 1. Yeah, so, you know, when you get it down to science.
Oh, my God. Oh, that is so fucking great. What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen? Because if you did it for that long, you had to, at a strip, because I mean, I've just as a patron, I've seen some crazy shit. What's the weirdest thing you ever saw occur on stage?
On stage? On stage. Couple of vomit incidents.
Oh, no!
One, a couple of vomit incidents. I did. You know, weird is kind of relative. The most disturbing thing I ever saw happen on stage, I thought I'd witnessed my first strip club fatality. We had a girl doing an upside down pole trick, and she was barred out on Xanax, and she lost her grip with her legs and just slid smack, and when she hit, man, like her head kind of like cocked over, and I was like, oh shit, she's that dude. That's
she did.
You know, and I've seen people killed like, you know what I mean? So it's just like the angle with the neck was not something that I was unfamiliar with. So I was just like, yeah, that's probably a fatality. Fuck it, you know, weird.
All right, not on stage number 1 anymore. It's Destiny.
Yeah, right. Thank you. All right, cleanup call, stage number 1. Roxanne, can we get you on stage number 2, please? We need a mop and a squeegee, and it's not for the semen this time. You know, I don't know.
Oh my God, that is so fucking funny. It's, you know that.
No, man, I've seen weird stuff.
I imagine. I mean, you hung around porn stars, you hung around strippers. That's not a business that where normal shit happens on a daily basis.
I can tell you some stories.
Okay.
Houston was the Wild West, man.
Let's move on, because I want to ask you, like, this is the one thing I don't know anything about. And when you were like, what are we going to talk about? I said, look, anything and everything, just have fun. But I do want to ask you about prepping, because you are a prepper, right?
Oh yeah.
So
lifelong.
Yes, and that's so how
I
long?
prefer the term survivalist. I think prepper is a term that's been kind of co-opted because people don't have the balls to say survivalist, and you know, which is not to say that there aren't people that are legit preppers that don't, you know, that don't kind of take it to the nth degree. But I consider myself a survivalist. I consider myself a Rawlsian survivalist. That probably won't mean anything to your listeners, so let me clear it up.
What that means.
So glad you asked.
No idea what that means.
James Wesley Rawls. James Wesley Rawls is he's the heir apparent to the old Mel Tappan, who was, you know, one of the original survivalist gurus. And survivalblog.com, you should have that bookmarked, and you should go to it regularly. I like Rawls a lot because he doesn't play to the mall ninjas and the armchair commandos and the tactical Ted crowd. It's just good, solid advice. But let's be clear about what we're talking about. We're talking about survival. You know, prepping. Okay, yeah, that's cool. It conjures up images of of grandma, having extra canned goods put back in her, like home canned preserves and, a few extra rolls of this or that, that's what that conjures up. Survivalism accepts the reality that in a grid down collapse, grandma is going to get gang raped and killed and all those canned goods are going to be stolen. So,
Oh my God,
that's
my
where
grandma.
I kind of draw.
Just
Yeah. Well, it's all right, man. With guys like me out not wearing masks, I mean, shouldn't your grandmother already be dead? That's what you've been telling me for the last fucking 4 months. I mean, how is she still walking around?
Oh, kiss my ass, Bart. All right. Okay. So there is a line. It's kind of like saying, oh, do you do little skits on stage as a comedian versus stand-up comedy, right? Like it's kind of the same, but not really. It was almost disrespectful for me to call you a prepper. Is that right?
No, not really disrespectful.
Okay.
I wouldn't say disrespectful. It's just
Uneducated.
It's semantics. It's semantics. I didn't find it insulting, and to be fair, it's always safer to refer to somebody as a prepper because not everybody wants to embrace that survivalist label. It fucks with a lot of people's delicate sensibilities, because even your own image, when I say prepper, you think one thing, and I say survivalist, all of a sudden, we're in Mad Max country. So it's always safer, to refer to somebody as a prepper, but I don't make any bones about it. I'm a survivalist. And
so why are you a survivalist? That's
right, Jason.
Why are you a survivalist? Yes. Why are you? Why did you start? When did you start, and why?
Turn on the news and ask me that question again with a straight face. But I'll tell you where it started for me. And this is another thing that people learn about me is that I'm a tremendous Cold War history buff. And that comes from my high school days, because I am old. That comes from my high school days being in the Reagan era, which was the end of the Cold War, where the tensions between us and the then Soviet Russians were such that every time a jet went over, you kind of had that moment where you're like, is this the one? Is this the one? I became obsessed with all things nuclear. And my coping mechanism is anytime I'm afraid of something, and this has stuck with me ever since I was a child, anytime I'm afraid of something, I learn everything that I can about it, and then I'm not afraid anymore. So I got very, very obsessive with the nuclear train, and then I got into, well, what can we do to live through this, or at least increase our chances of living through this? And, what 15-year-old, okay, I'm going to have to parse this one a little bit. What 15-year-old reads Soldier of Fortune and tapping on survival, in study hall, and that doesn't go on to fucking shoot up the school, basically.
Right.
But yeah, that's where I got into it. And then, of course, we had the collapse of the Soviet Union, collapse of the Eastern Bloc. But all of those things are still perfectly valid. Just because we didn't have the threat of a full nuclear exchange with another nuclear superpower, natural disasters, economic collapse, natural cycles of famine, problems associated with global overpopulation, the possibility of tropospheric superstorms. I mean, it's just, there's never a dull moment. There's a million things out there that are looking to kill you, not because they hate you, but because fuck you, and not just you, but fuck all y'all. Nature doesn't care. Nature just doesn't give a fuck. It's just like, oh yeah, a storm, yeah, we'll put it here, and oh my God, there was a children's home. Yeah, whatever. I've done worse.
It's a storm.
So,
I mean, it's through our history as human beings that it's happened, right? I mean, you look at Pompeii, you look at that's just there are examples of generations being almost wiped out. I mean, obviously we're still here, but it becomes survival, and so that, I guess that does make sense. Do you now? So you started at 15. You started paying attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
at that point it was just like, Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well,
You're chopping a little bit.
Yeah, it's I'm on Wi-Fi. It sucks. My regular corded internet shit the bed this morning. When you started prepping, were the people around you when you started, the survivalist experience that you go through, was everybody else doing that in your immediate family, or were you the only one?
No, I was literally the only one. I felt like that lone voice in the wilderness, man, because you know, and sometimes I still feel like that because even in spite of the fact that we live in a day and age now where the threats are obvious and they're right there in our face on a huge level every single day, you still have people that, you have the Pollyannas and the grazers that just want to put their heads in the sand and act like this is all going to blow over. I'll give you an example, Barry, and you can relate to this one. So you remember Ike, of course. Mm-hmm. Well, you remember right after Katrina, there was another storm in the Gulf, Hurricane Rita, and the projections were that it was going to make landfall in Houston as a Category 5. And I had people calling me up from all over the place. Hey, man, are you, can I get a case of food? Can I get some bottled water? Can I get, my favorite one. Hey, man, can I borrow a gun? I don't need a good gun. I could borrow one of your cheap ones. I'm like, first of all, I'm insulted that you think I'd own a cheap fucking gun. But second of all, hell no, man. You got no excuse. You've been my friend for years. You should have known better. Well, Rita turned north, right? Smacked the hell out of Beaumont, Lake Charles. Did a lot of damage up there, and we basically dodged a bullet. And I told a lot of these people, man, like I went through every text message. I was like, you see how lucky you are now, right? So now's the time. You need to put something back. You need to get a gun. You need to get some training. You need to get food. You need to get water. You need to have your 3 Bs squared away, beans, bullets, and Band-Aids. You need to get that squared up. And they fast forward 5 years, here comes Ike. Some of these same people had the audacity to hit me again, and that's when I just started deleting contacts, man. I just started deleting contacts out of my phone. And, I'm going through a similar process right now on social media with regard to that, not just because of the mindset, but just, in times of crisis, people show you who they really are, mm-hmm. right? Like, I mean, it's easy it's easy for me to have like that dynamic you talked about. It's like to have that love in my heart, for people. Like I can look at Barry and just be like, yeah, Barry's being a knucklehead right now, but I still love him. All right, cool, But once we enter that tipping point, that without rule of law situation, suddenly that ability to still love people in spite of differences, suddenly that's no longer an option, because it comes down to making a decision between whether me and my direct, like my wife and my kids are going to live or die, or whether I leave you starving to death on my front porch, Right. People look at them, oh my God.
But that's a survivalist mentality, right? I mean, you can't be a survivalist if you care about everybody else. Is that at the end of the day? I mean, I know you care. Well, I know you're a genuinely good dude. I stand by what I said. You have a big heart. You're a loving person. You have your quirks. You have your beliefs. We are. But the mentality of a survivalist is to survive. It doesn't matter what anybody else does as long as I survive. Is that accurate?
Here we're getting into the distinction between preppers and survivalists. Rawls. One of the Rawlsian precepts is charity, to keep a deep larder to be able to help those people in need. But having the means to help someone really only goes as far as your ability to defend the larder that you put away. In other words, I can make the choice to help my next door neighbor, who's having a rough time because, we're in whatever disease, pandemic, economic collapse, whatever. I can make the decision to help the neighbor. But when that mob comes down the street, that myth mob, those people that don't exist up in Portland, when people like that, imagine the Portland crowd with that sense of entitlement, okay, and how they're behaving now when we're still exceedingly comfortable by world standards. There's no, the only fascism they're protesting exists in their fucking heads. We are in an industrialized first world Western nation, and look at how these maggots are behaving in Portland. I want you to imagine that crowd in Portland in every major city in the United States multiplied tenfold when we legit have a grid down situation. I want you to imagine the behavior.
I don't know what a grid down situation is. I'm not a survivalist. I'm not a prepper. I own 3 guns, but only because I want to protect myself. But I don't have. I mean, if something happens, I buy a couple bottles of water.
You only bought the third one because I told you to.
Yes, but I only have I buy some water and some some dry food when I see a hurricane in the Gulf. But what does a grid down situation mean? What is that?
Grid down. Okay, a lot of these terms are interchangeable. You hear people using shit hits the fan, without rule of law, and the acronyms that go with that. SHTF, WROL, Teotihuacan, the end of the world as we know it. My thing that I kind of coined the term was grid down tits up. GDTU, grid down tits up, which basically means that the grid, whether it's just the power grid or all of the trappings of an industrialized Western nation, all go down. You wake up tomorrow morning, you flip the switch, and the power doesn't come on. You hit the valve, and the water doesn't come out. You look outside, and there are riots happening, and no one is coming to save your ass. The trucks aren't running. And these are things that can happen, man. I'm just going to throw this little poke out into the bread oven. And guys that are interested, they can follow me on my fan page on Facebook. If they want the political and the survival and all that stuff, they can follow me on my Reverend Bart fan page. We could be taken back into the 1800s with a second's notice or less. Whether a solar flare, coronal mass ejection, or a weaponized electromagnetic pulse or EMP could literally knock out the power grid. There's an organization called the RAND Corporation, and they're basically a think tank that works for the United States government. And what they do is they game out scenarios. That's what they do for the government. They game out scenarios. If the economy collapses and does this, what are the possibilities of things happening? They gamed out the EMP scenario. EMP strike on the power grid, knocks out the power grid. Their middle of the road conclusion, not best case, not worst case, their middle of the road, 7 out of every 10 Americans dead inside of a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. 7 out of 10 Americans dead inside of a year.
This isn't just like, oh, those guys over there, they just come up with shit. This was a government entity that ran some numbers.
I'll tell you how they came to that conclusion.
Okay.
It's the cascade of crises. Are you there?
I mean, I'm putting you full screen because I want your message. I want you to be able to have your moment. Like us split, yeah, it's good. But I want, when you're talking, look, I do it with all my guests. I want you guys to have your moment. Like Luis Zelaya, who's one of my chat moderators, said, this is great. This guy earned a new loyal follower. So I'm just giving you your moment, Bart. This is why I have you on this show.
Yeah, well, I could just as easily lose it. I could just as easily lose him before the program's out. All right, just wait till we talk politics and then hit me with that again. No,
go ahead.
It's the cascade of crises. It's the cascade of crises because people think, well, the power goes out, that's just a blackout. Well, yeah, if it's coming back on, but if not, then what? We have water treatment plants that require electricity. If those aren't running, guess what happens? Diseases. So what happens when there's a disease epidemic? People go to the hospital. Momentary loss.
No, you're still there.
What happens when there's a disease? Yeah, what happens when there's a disease epidemic? People go to the hospital. Only the hospital doesn't have resources, and the hospital only has backup generator power for maybe 3 days at the outside. So people spill into the streets and start rioting. Well, call the cops. Only the phone system's not going to work, and the cell towers are going to be down, and the police aren't going to be able to coordinate a response. Neither will certain branches of the military be able to coordinate a response. And all of these things just cascade, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You have to take on the mentality, but as a greater whole, how it affects, like for instance, an epidemic might not be anything, particularly like a bitch ass pandemic like COVID might not be really anything in and of itself in the grand scheme of things. But but then once we have lockdowns, that leads, and then once we have people disagreeing with the government narrative, then we have social unrest. And then something happens in one city in the United States and kicks off a wave of protests and riots all over the place, a lot of which is exacerbated by the fact that people have been locked down and they're out of jobs and things like that. So it's never just the one thing. You have to watch those one things. You have to watch them and learn how they work together to build that cascade of crises. And so there's that.
So what is, no,
Well,
it's fascinating to me because I don't
Did I lose you, Barry?
No, it's fascinating. I'm listening. I am listening and absorbing but what I'm thinking as you're saying this, because I see the need to prepare and I see the need to be self-sufficient. Because it can happen, right? Like, and it doesn't have to be where you get a bunker in Idaho and you stock it full of beans and rice and, and 1,000 guns and shells. Even though I feel like that's maybe you have
That's
something. Did I just describe your house? But like having a whole home generator and a gun, like that's, like things like that allow you to be self-sufficient. If you just have a supply of gas or whatever, you're never going to be 100% self-sufficient. Is that accurate? You're going to rely on something somewhere.
No, that's an accurate statement. Look, you can only put so many variables in your factor and then hope for the best. I mean, because like I do have a home with a bomb shelter in North Idaho, and and all of these things, and I do have all the other stuff. I got all this stuff put away. But at the end of the day, a meteor could fall on the house. You know what I mean? It's unlikely, but you can't legit be prepared for everything. My take on it, what I tell everybody is the old joke about the two campers and the bear. The two guys are out camping. The bear comes into the campsite sniffing around and just and like tears into the tent, and one guy freaks out and he's looking, oh my god, and the other guy just really cool starts putting his shoes on. And the guy asked him, he was like, why are you putting shoes on? You're never going to outrun that bear. I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you, So,
so you're just outrunning me. You're not trying to outrun a pandemic or the collapse of the free world. You're just outrunning all the fucking idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
Like me.
I've got to be able to get a little further down the road than you can. I got to be able to last a couple more days on my food supply than you do. I've got to not run out of ammo before you do, kind of things like that. And a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions. Look, there's a lot of outdoorsy types in Texas and up in the Northwest where I'm living now, and I'm just going to go into the forest and live off the land. Oh, wow, what a coincidence. Only you and about 100,000 other people thought about that. Yeah. So, you're going to be competing for resources out there, and, the whole head for the hills mentality. Okay, head for the hills, but what's waiting in the hills for you, man? It's the same. I mean, you have to be well-rounded. It's like these guys that think that they don't have to batters because they have a gun. Well, okay, you know how to shoot, but do you know how to fucking fight?
Yeah.
It's
No, I no.
It's all encompassing. It's a lot bigger than any one thing. The
one thing I
it's
think
a process, and it becomes.
The one thing I think about, Bart, when I hear you talk about it, because what you say, some of it makes a ton of sense, and some of it, I don't think everybody considers because maybe we're narrow-minded or maybe we're like, that's never going to happen. Even though, history has proven that shit happens, right? And so some people would say, those guys are crazy. And then other people that go, well, we've survived this long because some people had that mentality back when something happened that almost wiped us off the face of the earth. So my question is, you're on your deathbed, all right? You are dying. Reverend Bart is 95 years old. You're laying on your deathbed, and the time of survival never came. Are you disappointed? Are you like, well, fuck, I did all of this prep, I did all of this planning, I did all of this, stockpiling and everything else, and it never came. Are you at all disappointed that it never happened?
No. Well, on a personal level, because I have that mindset, I'm going to be pissed that I was all dressed up and no one to kill. But
oh my God, you're crazy.
What you're bordering on there is nihilism, which is prevalent enough in contemporary society, and part of the reason why people don't take these measures is because, well, I can't take it with me anyway, and what if I live my whole life like this and other happen? Well, once it becomes part of the background, once it becomes part of your lifestyle, this isn't a tremendous sacrifice. I enjoy my guns, and they're part of my lifestyle anyway. So having several thousand rounds of ammunition put back, that doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? If you have a dry spell and suddenly you're not making the same income that you were, well, you've got a storage of ammo that you can go out and use for training. If I've got all this food put back and no end of the world event happens, well, all of this stuff still has the same shelf life, and a lot of it is like outdoor stuff that I can use either in camping expeditions or stuff that I can hand off to the kid, just to say, hey, look, I'm on the way out, and it didn't happen in my lifetime, but thankfully those year supply freeze dry kits over there are still good for your lifetime. So enjoy that. No, man, I don't think I'd feel any regrets at all, because it's not. And some people do go too far with it, where it's like literally, oh my God, the guys that are like, man, I'm totally staying off the radar, dude. I'm not on social media. I don't have a cell phone. I don't have any of this stuff. I'm fucking invisible, bro. Big Brother's never gonna fucking find me. And I look at people like that, and I'm like, bro, literally, the difference is they can find me in about 9 seconds. For you, it'll take them 6-8 minutes. But no, dude, you're not invisible. Stop with that bullshit. People that get like hyper obsessed with stuff. I don't dig it, man. I don't dig it.
Dude, you're a multi-talented guy. You obviously have survivalist skills. Have you ever thought about auditioning for any of these shows? Just to see, like, putting your skills to work? I know you go out and I know you run through scenarios and do things. Have you ever thought about going on like a Survivor or going on like what was the one, they would drop people off and the last person to leave won. What was it called? I don't remember.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know one of the Bear Grylls ones.
I loved it. Yeah. But have you ever thought about doing shows like that?
It's a thought, but again, we're dealing with a difference in scenario. The wilderness stuff, not exactly my forte. I don't really think I'd do well in that program. I mean, it's not like I would like croak off or be like one of the first people to fucking bitch up. Mm-hmm. But I'm no Les Stroud by any stretch of the imagination. You know what I mean? Like I can get by. I'm not completely useless in that scenario. I'm more of an urban economic collapse, nuclear war kind of guy. And I wouldn't go for any of the doomsday prepper shows, because that's just panic porn, which I'm all about porn, don't get me wrong. But the panic porn thing, I just don't dig it, and I don't dig the way that it really portrayed the prepper community either. I think it did a tremendous disservice. National Geographic came with that whole, we're just trying to highlight this. It's like, no, man, these guys are getting their fucking clowns. One of them turned out to be a fucking pedo, You know, they're just they're it's like a minstrel show for the prepper community. Basically, we're highlighting every negative stereotype, and we're just parading them out. And you know, it's just like I'll store some food for you, boss. You know, it's just like that's basically how they were pushing it, and I don't dig that.
So what if there are people, because I think you have started to amass a new or expanded your following with some of the deckheads. I think they're really interested in your message. I think people are interested in what you're saying. What's the best place to start? Like if I was gonna buy, what's the first, like you mentioned the food and the survival, the shelf life of it. If I'm starting, what do you recommend I start as a survivalist or as a prepper? Where do I mean, besides buying guns, because we know that's probably number one on your list, right? Get you some guns, get you some ammo.
Yeah. That wouldn't be number one on the list.
No?
Do you want the nice guy Bart answer, or do you?
No, Bart. Listen, you just confessed that you might kill somebody just because. That meant.
Let me tell you something. A lot of people, if they would come to me now and they'd say, "Hey, I have $2,000 in my budget, and I want to be ready when it comes. So what should I do?" For most people, I would look at them and I would say, what you need to do is take that $2,000 and invest it in a big flat screen television and a huge home entertainment center. Because if you're just now getting on board, all you're going to be doing is watching. So
wow, okay,
that's the knee jerk, go fuck yourself, Grazer. Why are you wasting my time? Answer. But for people that are serious, again, I can't stress this enough about James Wesley Rawls and Survival Blog. They need to bookmark that, and they need to visit it every day. They need to pick up some of his nonfiction work on preparedness and survival. They need to go old school and look at a book called Tappan on Survival, written by Mel Tappan. He was the original prepper guru. He was, a lot of tender childhood memories reading that book. But that and the Turner Diaries. No. Okay.
Oh.
But
I can see 15-year-old Bart go outside and play. No, I'm reading the survivalist manual.
Yeah.
That was your childhood, huh?
Yeah. True story, man. True story.
So you said your family doesn't subscribe to the same ideals and beliefs that you do. Is that across the board? Is there anybody that's like, oh, okay, were you ridiculed by your family, or do they huh?
No, not at all. Not at all. My father was entirely supportive. My dad, when you meet him, I've heard him described as Jed Clampett on steroids. He's just like, well, okay, so you're putting some more rice in a bucket. All right then, have a good day, and just go on about his business. I shouldn't tell this story. Oh, I shouldn't tell this story. This is how cool. This is how cool my dad is. God, I should not tell this story, but I'm gonna.
Please do.
My dad had a place out on FM 1960 there in Houston. I was living downtown, and I was in my bulletproof youth phase, where I was, in my late teens, early 20s, maybe, doing a lot of drugs, getting into all kinds of trouble. And me and a friend of mine took a young nubile nymphet up to my dad's place, because it was cold, there was a fireplace, and we had every intention of battering her cervix like a trebuchet at the castle walls. So we took her up there, and we're literally running right. I will trounce your genitalia until you renounce God.
I want to be clear. She was in on this, right? She was.
Yeah. She was. Yeah.
Okay.
She was completely. Okay. So anyway, we're up there, and my dad was supposed to have been out of town, and his car was not in the driveway. Well, his car was at the mechanic shop, and he was still very much there and very much upstairs. And so let me just lay out the scene for you downstairs: fireplace, mirror, lines of coke, roaches in the ashtray, and me and Johnny running the Orient Express of a train on this chick, and we hear a noise upstairs, and then we hear the floorboards creaking. It's like, oh shit, that's my dad. He's here. And so we're there, literally have this girl spit roasted, right? Johnny's balls deep in her face. I'm balls deep in her from behind. Johnny's balls deep in her face. And footsteps coming down. And Dad rounds the corner into the living room in the middle of this thing. And he goes, oh, excuse me. And just walks around.
Your dad's
like it never happened.
Well, okay, well, all right. Your dad is a saint. My dad would have been like, boy, what in the fuck are you doing? I'd be like, well, if I have to explain it, then you probably didn't live your best life in high school either. That's hilarious.
Yeah, well, it's a roundabout way. It's like, no, he never ridiculed any of that. In fact, he was curious about it. Never really got to where it was something that he adopted, but yeah, he was very curious about it. He had a lot of questions, and he always encouraged me to do what I was going to do. And but now, now that he's a little bit older and he's living in East Tennessee, and with it, probably 5, maybe 6 years ago, I guess the bug just bit him. He took a look around at the world and where it was going, and he said, you know what, fuck it. At the time he had he had a 12-gauge shotgun and a little 38 revolver, and what you would expect the older generation to have as far as food stores. But all of a sudden it was like, hey, what do I need to buy? I need to beef up the arsenal a little bit. What kind of food should I get? How should I put it away? All these things. And now, man, Pops is dug in like an Alabama tick. So he's good.
He is on board 100%. Well, that's good. You have to be proud of Dad, right? If he's coming around, because I know you're passionate about it. I know you believe in it. So you're probably like, well, that's one less family member that's going to try to leech off of me if something does happen.
Yeah, I'll help anybody. I'll help anybody that is serious about it. The problem is you have these people that are like tentatively serious. Something happens and they buy a gun, and then they don't train with it. Something happens and they buy a couple of cases of MREs and they think, man, I'm set. So they don't do any reading. They don't have backups to their backups. They don't have water filtration. They don't have first aid. They don't have any of that stuff. If people are serious, it's like on the combatives tip. It's like, you want to learn how to defend yourself, I'll tell you, but don't think you're going to come in and I'm going to give you a 5-minute clinic on, Western boxing and you're going to be ready to take on the world, Sparky. It's not going to work like that.
It takes years. How long? And we've got to get out of here. It's 3:55 and I promised I'd be done by 4. And this has been fascinating and everything I knew and hoped it would be, because I love you to death. You're literally the most interesting person I know. How long in a survival scenario, Bart, how long on your own could you survive? In a like, do you have enough means to survive for a year, 2 years? Like, how long could you survive on your own?
Right now, with what I have in this room?
Yes.
Okay. Depends on the scenario.
No. Like, that you've amassed. Like, if you were like, oh, fuck, the world is ending in a week, let me get home. Like, if you get home to, or wherever home is, or wherever the bunker is, wherever you're.
Again, a lot of it's going to depend on scenario, but conservative estimate, I have around 400 pounds of just rice. In my stores, not counting the freeze-dried stuff, not counting the MREs, not counting the retort package stuff and any of the other things, the canned goods. I could coast. For a year and a half, just being a little piggy. If I really buckled down and rationed everything, I could make it 3+ years, easy.
Wow.
But again, a lot of that's going to depend on scenario, because you have to think it's like, okay, that's radiation event wipes out everyone, and I just happened to be in the basement or in the bunker when it happened.
Right.
Whatever. Most of the population's already died off. Like the mobs that have cleaned out the cities, they've cleaned out the cities and moved on to greener pastures, and now I've just got my spot. But that could change. If the mob comes for your house, well, they send a couple of scouts and you bleed them out. And they come back a few days later with a few more scouts and you bleed them out. At some point, they're going to figure out there's probably something in there worth defending, or this guy would have already left. Because clearly there's 70 of us, and it's just him and maybe 2 or 3 other guys in there. And we gave them the gap, and they didn't take it. They didn't leave. So there's probably something in there worth taking. And at that point, you fall back into your ammunition reserves, and things get ugly.
Wow, you literally have thought. I mean, you have, and I guess that's part of it, though, right? It's scenario planning. That's part of survivalist planning, is scenario planning.
6 ways in and 12 ways out. I mean, like even in my combatives stuff, you probably know I'm certified under Coach Tony Blauer in the SPEAR system, and like all of that is scenario drills instead of looking at optimum situations. It's like, well, will this work? I don't know. Let's run it. Let's run it. Let's run the numbers. Let's run the actions. Let's see how this plays out. Let's get into some uncomfortable discussion territory. Let's look at some of the really, really horrible things that people have done throughout history in situations like that, and how would I react to it? What resources do I have at my disposal to react to it? I've run some pretty unpleasant shit, and again, I'm not outrunning the bear, but I can outrun I can outrun most of my fellow campers easily. And if that's the best you can hope for, then I say we can roll with it. And anybody who wants to learn that mentality and how to work with it, man, get in touch with me, man. Hit me with a message.
What is your Facebook page? Because I'm going to cut you loose. We got to get going. It's almost 4:00. What is your Facebook page?
Reverend Bart, Reverend Bart, Reverend Bart. That is the fan page. There are going to be politics there that are going to piss off everyone. There are going to be things
Facts.
there that are going to be uncomfortable. And if I can make you uncomfortable, and it forces you to re-examine your lifestyle and your behavior and change it in a positive way that makes you harder to kill, mission accomplished.
Well, I put it on the screen, Reverend Bart on Facebook. If you like the message, if you're interested in learning more, go do it.
Yeah, Reverend Bart is actually 2 words on the fan page, but I'm sure it'll pull it up, and they can hit my personal inbox as well. And I do the Sunday sermon every single Sunday, an hour of ranting and raving, because I want to be like Barry when I grew up. So,
dude, I love you so much, buddy. Thank you for doing this. You are the best. I thank you. I know this was kind of short notice. I'm glad we figured it out. I'm glad we worked it out. I know you've been busting your ass in West Texas. Get you some rest. Get you some sleep. You never know.
I'd love to come back just to talk about that.
We do need to. We need to do this again for sure. I think you've developed some new fans in the deckhead community, to say the least. So, Reverend Bart, buddy, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you so much, because we didn't even talk MMA. We barely scratched the surface on comedy. Yeah. We didn't talk ring announcing. We didn't talk strength training. There's still so much to do. We're going to do this again for sure.
Okay, let me know when, man. Say the word. We'll make it happen.
Sounds good. Hey, man, thank you so much, buddy. That is Reverend Bart, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Go follow him on Facebook at Reverend Bart on the Facebook page. That's it. I got 4 beers left. I didn't get to it. I'm glad some of you really enjoyed it. I know Bart is controversial. I know he says some things that will make you uncomfortable, or that you probably don't agree with, or that you didn't like. I fully expected that going in. Like the man said, sometimes you get a little uncomfortable. It's not such a bad thing. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. Doesn't mean you have to like it. He's an interesting dude, though. You can't deny that. Thank you guys so much for a wonderful week. Thank you for all the support that you've given this show. We're on to episode 65 on Monday. I don't have guests yet. I'm going to try to book out next week. I'm working on some really cool ideas for guests. If you have any, let me know. I'm happy to explore those as well. But what I need you to do right now, you guys, is have a wonderful weekend. Be safe, be kind, and most importantly, love each other. See you guys on Monday, and I'll see you on the Discord. Talk to y'all soon. Later on. Daddy's making a YouTube video!